over to the lift with it, and talk about it over there. So
Cool. All right.
how you been?
Look good?
Yeah. How you been?
Good. Just
Yeah.
burning the candle at both ends. Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do for normal work?
I have a small plumbing company.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that kind of that takes up a lot of my time there. This is just it started off as just supposed to be for fun. It's kind of taken off and turned into kind of a little bit more than that now, but it's still fun. Yeah.
So what do you like? I guess what is you basically buy and flip? Kind of assemble, buy, flip bikes is kind of the picture. Or explain.
Yeah. It actually started. So I'm originally from Arkansas.
Okay.
And I came out here in 2019, I think. Yeah, January of 2019. And
What brought you out here?
Crazy enough, I actually came to California to get sober.
Nice.
I had an aunt that lived nearby, and I was supposed to come out here for a few months, just kind of get away, and I just never left. Started making a life, and I'm stuck now.
Yeah. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I was going back home for something, and for some reason, I was looking on Marketplace, like everybody else does all day long, and I noticed how much cheaper. This was, right during COVID. So the Dynas were super hot, and they were a lot cheaper back home. So I was able to kind of coordinate it and make it to where I could buy some bikes back there, bring them out here, and they were, cream puffs. Because out there at the time, when you were looking on Facebook Marketplace, you didn't see, nobody had T-bars and stuff on their Dynas and fairings. They were all stock. Most of the time, the dude rode a Street Glide and his wife rode the Dyna. You know what I mean? So they were low miles, cherry, nice bikes. And that's what that was originally what started it. Just bringing Dynas out here and selling them. And then it just kind of took off and started doing little things to them. And then now it's turned into doing stuff like that YDX that I did, just kind of doing all of it.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's good. That's find a little niche and just keep going with it.
And it's, thank God I'm able to sell them, because I would be doing this even if I wasn't. I would just have no money, which I don't have money now. But I would even have less. You know what I mean? Like, at least I can build something. Hopefully somebody likes it and I can sell it and I can just do it again, because that's It's what I would be doing if I wasn't doing it on Instagram or whatever else. It's I love it.
I like flipping bikes like that too. It's pretty fun, I haven't done it in a while. I want to try to get back into it, but it just seems like prices are so fucking outrageous lately.
The market's horrible. It's always bad on election years anyways, and it's just, that's I've kind of laid off being in the garage a lot, just kind of got a little bit burned out. So I've been trying to get back in here and do some more stuff, but it's another job. It's turned into a second job, It was fun for a long time. And like I said, now it's just kind of gotten to where it takes up so much time and so much energy that you got to keep an eye on it.
Oh yeah.
Before you get out of hand.
Just running your Instagram's a full-time job, let alone everything else, man. It's sometimes it's it's exhausting for sure.
Oh yeah. And then, you still got to have time to live a little bit and have a personal life and everything else. It's, it's crazy. But
are you married?
No, I have a girlfriend, but no marriage. Yeah. It's everything, it's hard to keep your finger on everything and take care of everything, but they're good problems. When I came here, 6 years ago, I never would have thought these were the problems I would be, concerned with today.
Yeah. It sounds like when you got here, you were concerned with a lot of other problems.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. I showed up to California with a suitcase and no money and, sleeping on a couch for, 3 months. It was, they're good problems. It's easy to lose track of that, you know what I mean? And you're kind of caught up in all the bullshit and keeping up with everybody and trying to be cool. And, it's just supposed to be working on bikes in your garage with friends. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Instagram's kind of turning into this other weird little thing where it's like, everybody's got to have their little clique and like this whole thing, and it's just kind
yeah,
of I'm not
yeah,
super into it, man. I just want to ride motorcycles and
same. That's same.
just have
That's
fun.
that's what it's supposed to be, I think.
Yeah.
But we're all guilty of it. We all lose track of it at some point or another, and have to
Oh yeah.
get grounded again, which is kind of, I think, where I'm at now. Like the other night, we were in here until like 1 o'clock in the morning with Dane and Tyler that runs Big Bird Choppers, putting
Uh,
this stupid shovel head together. You know what I mean? And like that's what it's supposed to be.
yeah, yeah,
Who cares about all the other crap? This is what it's supposed to just be
yeah,
working on bikes with your friends, enjoying it, and you know,
yeah.
it's easy to get away from that, start chasing money and start chasing, all the other stuff. But
Yep.
um, what else are you gonna do?
100%, man. It is fun. I mean, I still love it and all, but I get exhausted by it too. Like I don't know. This whole year has just been a weird year. I'm really over this year. You
It's
know.
been it's been rough. It's been rough.
Yeah.
I think it's been, like I said, I have a plumbing company. It's
Yep.
rough there too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's been tough for everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody's wanting to really do some stuff. Hopefully, um, now that we got the election out of the way, hopefully some things change and maybe next year will be great.
Yeah. I'm hoping for that too. Yeah. I'm hoping for a
Yeah,
whole new get up next year. So we can actually go back to making some money or just focusing on our lives again, man. Like it sucks
yeah,
being in such a
100%.
situation where we're not able to just kind of be happy.
Yeah,
And
it's before you know it, the year's gone and all you've been doing all year is fighting. Trying to
yeah,
get ahead.
that's how
It's
it feels this whole year. I mean, I'm just like fighting, fighting, fighting. I'm like, man, I don't know how many more times I can get kicked in the dick, man.
Oh yeah,
Like,
and
fuck.
I think my dad had a bike shop in Arkansas growing up, and looking back, like on those days, with like Arlen Ness and like Forget, like all those big name guys made a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know that unless there's some companies out there that are doing it. Like there's
Yep.
just nobody's going to get rich in the motorcycle world.
No.
I just don't. You know what I mean? Like we're past that. I think there's too many people doing it. Maybe I don't really know what it is, but it's definitely you've got to love it because you're never gonna retire off this. I
No,
mean,
no.
that's
Yeah, it's a very weird industry, and the way I look at things too is like everybody's trying to fight over the same dollar.
yeah,
Everybody's ripping off everybody else's stuff. Nobody's like coming up with anything new that hasn't been done. Everybody's just like, oh, that guy makes this, we should make that now too.
yeah,
And it's like, well, how do
yeah,
you want to make it? Oh, just copy theirs and put a couple other more ball mills in it, and let's call it good.
yeah. Change the color. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's just like,
exactly.
wow, man, it's kind of I don't know. It's a little discouraging at some points. Like, man, what else is there? What else can I do? But
Oh yeah,
I've dedicated so much of my life to this shit, and I love it. But it's like sometimes I wish my money was made outside of it.
yeah. I don't know how you do it. I'm
Yeah,
so glad that this is still like just. I can close this garage and not come in here for a month, and it's not going to affect. You know what I mean? I'm still going to be able to pay my bills. I'm so thankful for that because I know how hard it is.
yeah,
It's very rough to make a living out here doing bike stuff. It really
yep,
is.
yep, yep. But
Um,
but let's move on from the with some of the sad stuff. Let's move on to the positive.
yeah, I'm starting to cry. Like,
Yeah, you're starting to make me question my whole life.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're both going to be changing our jobs here pretty
Yeah,
soon.
I'm gonna go to Vespa's or something.
I still say I'm going to buy a Goldwing and just sell everything in here and be done with it and just have
Yeah,
one bike.
never. Only got to change the oil and ride it.
Exactly. Exactly.
But like I could see that, and I kind of do like the new Goldwing. I'm not gonna
Oh
lie,
yeah,
but I also I like tinkering and I like fucking like customizing, and
1,000%.
that's the appeal to Harleys to me. Like
Yeah.
it's like Harley was like the thing that like you made your own. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
it wasn't like you just bought a Harley and you're just riding that bitch.
No.
So I mean, I've had multiple times where I bought bikes and I never even ridden them stock. I just put them right on the lift and started taking them apart,
Yeah. Well,
and it's
there's nothing worse than showing up somewhere and having a bike that looks exactly like two other bikes.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm like, I
yeah.
can't, I want
Oh
to,
yeah,
and maybe it's a little bit of ego, but it's like, I want to show up and be like, you know,
You
this
want to
is
show up and show out, baby.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't want to show up on some, some bike that I just bought and like put heated grips on. Like, no, I want to show up and be like, what the hell is that? Like, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that too. I
oh
like
yeah,
showing on bikes that like are either Frankensteined up, like nothing
yeah,
matches and they're just weird as fuck, or like a
oh,
full done bike.
oh yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
That's
you
and
know.
it's like I said, it's a lot of ego, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
it's
it
fun.
and it's okay to have an ego. It's okay to have
100%.
an ego to the point where like as long as you can still maintain your ego and not be a dick to people.
Yeah,
That's when
that's
your ego's too much.
exactly. Yeah,
You
which
know.
happens, I think, a
Oh,
lot.
big time.
A
Happens
hundred.
a lot in this industry, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
tweaks their own. They would do that. Those people that do that would do that in any industry. You
a
know what
hundred
I mean?
percent. Yeah, a
So
hundred percent.
if they were plumbers, they'd be plumbing big dick plumbing. You know.
Correct, correct,
So
exactly.
what are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
yeah.
I'll
That's
tell you what though. I'm over this time change already.
dude. I know. I'm looking outside right now and it's pitch black, and I'm like, what is it? 8 o'clock? I'm like, no, it's 5:30. Yeah, it's horrible.
I'm
It's
fucking
horrible.
over it, man.
Yeah,
We're we're like 4 days into it. I'm like, fuck this shit.
I know. And the bad thing is, I've only been here for 6 years, and compared to Arkansas, this is so nice. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
I go back home and I'm like, this sucks. This is so miserable, and I'm like, I'm already ruined. Like I can never leave. I'm like,
Oh
I've gotten
yeah.
so used to California weather.
I
It's
got some
hilarious.
guys out in Arkansas that whenever I do that show in Sioux Falls, South Dakota every year, and
Yeah.
they come out there to that show and they're from Arkansas, and they tell me, man, fucking Arkansas's got some bitchin' riding down there.
Oh, it is. There's some roads there that are like some of the prettiest ones I think I've been on. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
they're like, you got to come down there with us and ride. I'm like, man, one of these days, I promise, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ride there.
Yeah. You've only got like a 3 week window, so you better nail it because after that,
Really? Is
yeah,
it?
it's either humid or it's too
Oh,
cold or it's rainy or yeah, you got to nail it.
oh, I gotta be just right because I don't like any of those things.
No, not at all. Me neither. Me neither.
Oh man. So let's
Yeah.
see what you got on the. What are you working on right now? Talk to us about it. Let's before we start looking at it.
Can I? Well, we've got a lot of stuff going on. That's the problem. That's why nothing's getting done.
Yeah.
Um, I have a DXI that I just recently finished putting the motor together on it. I bought it. It's pretty low mileage, but it was pretty neglected. Sat outside. I think it was like around like Lake Havasu. But I've had it for like a year. I think I just drug it around, putting it off. So I finally pulled the motor apart on it, powder coated everything, 95 kit, some pretty cool heads. Hopefully sending everything off to paint here pretty soon, and then just start powder coating and chroming wheels and all the little
So
stuff.
when you do the motor, you do the motor work and everything yourself. You
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
not I'm not splitting cases.
Yep.
I just don't have enough.
Cams and top end.
Yeah, transmissions, stuff like that. I don't have a problem with, but
Gotcha.
I'm not set up to be doing, bottom ends and stuff like that. I'd rather send it out and make sure that it's done right. It's going to be
Yep.
reliable. That's
Are
my
you?
biggest fear is that, because I always say my tagline is I've always wanted one of these. You know what I mean? And then I have one and then I fix it and then I sell it. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
I know like at some point somebody else is going to be riding this. So my biggest fear is that somebody's going to buy a bike from me and then 2 months later be like, hey, the cam's just let go in this thing or whatever the
yeah,
case may be. So I always want to, especially if I'm doing bottom end stuff, I want to make sure that it's done right and it's going to last somebody and it's going to be, something
yep,
that I can see. Because that's the whole thing that, because I know there's a lot of people that send a lot of stuff out here. We're on the West Coast. This is where everything's at. And but the difference is like if I sold you a bike or your friend a bike, I'm gonna see you. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we've met at the swap meet, we meet at shows. You know what I mean? Like so,
yep,
like I don't just get to sell stuff and just be like, cool, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like I got my money, I'm good. Yeah, exactly. Like if somebody's mad at me, I'm gonna see them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really try to make sure that when it leaves here, it's butter. And if something does go wrong, only thing you do is try to make it right.
Yeah,
And
100%, man. That's just the
yeah.
way. Just a good moral compass, man.
Oh yeah, and it's a huge industry, but it's such a small world.
Yeah, tiny.
It gets out so fast.
Yeah, especially
So
with
fast.
Instagram, man. Everybody knows everybody.
Exactly. Yeah,
You know.
and everybody's somebody. So it's
Yeah.
really, you got to watch it. That's,
Yep. Yep.
um, but, so yeah, hopefully be doing that here pretty soon. I just picked up this, FXR convertible. I'm sure you probably saw it on, FXR Bazaar, a couple other places. Um, a friend of a friend actually had it, up in Apple Valley.
Okay.
Uh, so I just got that. Hopefully start putting that thing together here pretty soon. I've got 3 other FXRs that need to get built. I have my FXR back there. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like you said, it's a lot to find time too. And this getting
Yeah.
dark early for me doesn't help nothing, man. I get so burned out so quick when it gets dark like this.
Oh yeah, and it's, for a long time it was just like, cool. I'm just gonna do wheels and some bars and risers and a seat and send it on its way. And then at some point in time, it's turned into, now I have a bunch of bikes in here that need everything. You
Yeah.
know,
So, okay, so when you're hunting down bikes like this, do you have like a honey hole or anything like that? Like where you're like always kind of looking a certain spot, or are you just looking all over the place and pulling them in?
I look all over the place. We haven't really, since I think it's probably been about a year since I've made a trip back to Arkansas for bikes. That was the honey hole. I don't know, after this year, it'll be kind of interesting to see because, like I said, used to when I was looking around there was never T-bars and fairings and two to
Yeah.
ones on bikes. And now when you're looking, on in Oklahoma City or in Arkansas, it's like looking in California's, Facebook or Craigslist, whatever you will.
Yep.
A lot of people have left California, moved to Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, and they've taken their super nice FXDX with them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they know that it's still worth 10 grand or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
So I don't really know, honestly. I
Yeah.
haven't, these that I've picked up, like the 3 FXRs, I got those in a big garage deal where I just bought an entire garage full of tools, bikes, everything. Um, that FXR, I got that from a friend of a friend kind of thing. It's just, it depends. I'm
Yeah.
always, which is another bad thing. I'm always on Facebook Marketplace. I
Oh,
live on
I
Facebook
love it.
Marketplace.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, and people are always sending me links, and it's always shit I don't need.
Yeah. Even
It's
if I don't
always
got money, I'm on there looking around at shit, dude. I just
Oh,
like,
100%. I'm the worst. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm window shopping everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
So
this weird thing. I like to know what things are valued at, so I like my search algorithm on Facebook Marketplace is super weird, dude.
Oh
It'll
yeah,
have like,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll have like farming windmills and fucking, all sorts of
yeah,
weird shit that I'm just looking at just to be like, how much is that worth?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, because like I'm not buying a $200,000 diesel pusher, but I'm like, I want to look at it just in case
Yeah,
I ever decide I need one. Like I don't,
yeah,
you never know. I might
yep,
hit the lottery
exactly.
tomorrow.
Yep. Don't even get me started on motorhomes, man. That's my favorite thing. I
Oh
love
yeah,
motorhomes.
it's great. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
just, uh, I love it. I can't
Yeah.
stand it.
I'm an
I wish.
addict.
Yeah, same, 100%. And like I said, whether it's Reese's or Oreos or whatever it may be, it's same till the
Yep.
end. I
Yep.
mean,
100%.
thank God I found some healthy ones.
Yeah.
Somewhat
Right.
healthy
Right.
ones. Yeah, because it's yeah. If I
Just
didn't
not healthy
have
for your pocketbook.
yeah, oh yeah, 100, well, I don't know. Maybe it's pretty close. It's a close call, but so far it's a close call. Yeah. But if
Oh,
I didn't have this, I'd be God. I don't even know. I'd be unbearable. You couldn't be around me. I don't think. I'd be
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
fed up and just pissed off. And it's nice to come out here and reset every once in a while and just listen to music and hang out and
Yep,
it's fun. Yeah,
yep. How much riding do you actually get in every year? You
man,
do a fair
not a
amount?
lot. I mean, I always ride to Born Free. The last few times I've gone home, I've taken a bike with me and put a bunch of miles on a bike whenever I go there. Um, I don't get to ride around at a lot of rides out here. Sadly,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it always turns up to where when the weekend comes, I've already got something planned. We're going camping, or we have a razor. It's just
Oh,
it
yeah.
never it never ends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys do Glamis, or you guys actually do desert?
a little bit of both. I've just gotten into the razor stuff,
Oh, that's a
so
whole nother fucking ball game, buddy.
yeah, it's just
I got
more
I have
money
a
that
I
I
have a
don't have.
canvas.
Yeah, it's horrible, and that's the bad thing is like every time I buy something, I'm like immediately like I got this razor. Like we took it out one time, and then I'm just like, cool, and it's like blown apart. Like new lights and switches and just everything. And
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
I gotta just leave something alone and just go and just be like, cool, I got it, sweet. I'm like,
Nope.
no, again, it's
Nope.
ego. I want to
Oh.
show up and everybody be like, damn, what's that thing? You know what I mean? Like it's so stupid. It's
Yep.
and I'm like, and I'm doing it for a bunch of dudes. Like, no girls are ever like, oh, that's so sweet. It's like always. When I pull
Yeah.
up on a bike somewhere to show, it's like it's like a bunch of girls are flocking to it. It's just a bunch of us. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's the
something's
funniest shit,
not,
dude.
yeah, I missed the mark at some point or another, but
Yeah.
it's just, I'm
You
like,
would
what
have
are you
been way
going to do?
cooler in the '70s, probably.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I would, I still say I wish I grew up in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Man, I tell you, I have a Can-Am. I got it like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I've done a couple things, but I've tried to pump my brakes on that stuff because if you want to spend some money, get a fucking side by side.
Oh my
You know,
God.
fuck.
And that's not even breaking it every time you take it out.
No, yeah,
That's
I've
just
never
buying
broke
cool
mine.
stuff.
I never
Yeah.
broke mine, never rolled it, but I'm just like, I bought a new cage for it.
Yeah.
Ooh, and I had to hunt down a cage that I wanted, the way the spare tire was and shit. Like,
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know, it was
Yeah.
it was not cheap and
No.
fucking, wheels and tires and shit like that. It's like Jesus.
Oh yeah.
But I tell you what, man, I sure do have fun in that thing.
It's so crazy.
Oh,
I was like the service manager at a dealership back home for a little bit, and this was back, like mid-teens, somewhere around there, where like the turbo Can-Am just came out, the
yeah,
XRX
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever it was, and like they were cool back then, but they were still lacking a lot of stuff. That air hose might be leaking. Um, uh, but what they're doing now, it's so crazy, so
Yeah,
crazy,
it's out
and
of
you
control.
go. It's nuts. I mean, it's like, and we went to the Sand Super Show in Orange
Oh
County,
yeah. Yep.
and walking around there, and I'm like, this is out of control,
Yeah.
out of control.
I mean, what
It's
what's it? The new Razor, the big dog Razor, and the new Can-Am. What are they, like $50,000,
yeah, it's
$40,000?
crazy.
Something. Yeah,
Yeah, like you can
price
buy a
tag.
trophy truck, and
Yeah,
have the windows go up and have air conditioner.
yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But then I got a buddy who builds trophy trucks, and his trophy trucks are probably fucking $700,000 trophy trucks. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
And,
It's
and
yeah,
and it's full leather interior, headliner.
yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
It's like crazy. And he builds like street trophy trucks, and they're out of fucking control.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Well,
I don't know. It's just
yeah.
crazy. And the
I'm not ready yet. Thank God.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
okay with the
no,
Razor. I'm fine with it, but at some point, I'm like, yeah, I want a long travel crew cab Chevy.
yeah.
Like, sick. But it's again, it's hard to do it all. It's hard to have
Oh,
bikes and then do that, and then have a truck, and then
yeah. Well, it's
it's
like the footprint too, right? To work on the side by side, you need like a much bigger footprint too. You
oh
know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So it's like,
Obviously, you don't. Yeah, like there's no second story here. Like this is it. I'm out of room.
yeah.
That's
So it's just a pain in the ass. It really, like, I have
oh
exhaust and
yeah,
stuff for mine, and I've had it for 2 years. I never put the fucking on the car yet.
oh yeah,
There's no
yeah.
time.
Yeah, and that's because you just moved. You went back. You got rid of your shop, right?
Yeah, I got rid of my shop in November. I'm back on my property, but I have a 2,200 square foot shop on my property. But
Yeah.
excuse me, with my CNC machine and everything in here, I mean, the fucking shop's full. So I
Yeah.
can't even pull my side by side in this shop.
Oh yeah. We're just like
So
we're just like big air balloons. Like it doesn't
yeah,
matter. No matter how big of a space I have, I just fill it up. It
oh
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
100%,
That's
100%.
before this. I was in a one-car garage. I lived in like an above garage apartment, like 400 square feet, and I had one car, and it was the same way. It was absolutely packed. And then
Yeah,
I came here, and I was like, I have so much room. This is great. And now I'm like, I need another garage or a shed or
yeah,
something. My
goes
spare
fast.
room. My spare room is full of parts. The closet full of parts. It's insane. It is
Yeah,
insane.
I,
You
I
know.
I have that problem too. I have like painted parts like stashed everywhere. Like I just
That's
had to pull them out of one of the bedrooms of my house because I had
yeah.
we had a spare room and I had all the painted parts on the bed and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God I don't have a lot of friends and nobody comes and stays at my house because
Right?
they walk in my spare room and be like, "What in the world is
Yeah.
this?"
The only good thing I got is my wife likes bikes too, so she has her own. She has a couple bikes herself, so
There
it
you go.
helps me.
Yeah.
she gets it. She's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and just put that on the bed in the spare room." you know,
Yeah. Just put it on the credit card. It's fine. Don't worry about
yeah,
it.
yeah. So it's a good thing and a bad thing sometimes.
Oh
When you're
yeah.
like questioning spending money, and she's like, "Oh, you need that, get it anyways," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Fuck it."
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I need people in my life to keep me in check. If not, it's yeah,
yeah.
it gets rough quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see that. So with
yeah,
back to the side by side real quick. What I came down to with the side by side when I first got it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this thing up. We're gonna make it really badass.
yeah,
Then I started looking at all the pricing. I'm like, holy Jesus, for one.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then I was like, I don't do Glamis. I do desert.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking scratch it all up anyways. What the fuck do I care?
Oh
And
yeah,
and
that's
that's been a rough one too, though, because I always try to keep my bike so nice. Having something that you don't care if you get scratches on has been weird, also.
oh
You know?
yeah, and but you almost they're so notorious for it. They're so
Yeah,
notorious for it.
yeah,
It's hard for me too because I bought mine. Of course, I didn't buy a brand new razor. I'm not
yep,
I had to get a deal on one with a bunch of nice stuff on it already. But
yep,
it's really hard for me to not like almost just want to take it all apart and make it all look nice and shiny again. Because I'm
yep,
like,
yep.
it's hard.
Oh
It's
yeah,
rough.
they're fucking cool, man.
Oh, they're so much fun. They are
I like
so
them a
much fun.
lot.
Yeah, it's a blast.
You
It's
know, this
yeah.
year everything's been so slow. I've like thought about selling it. My wife's like, "Don't sell it. That's the only thing you love." I'm like, "All
Yeah.
right,
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Not selling it."
Yeah. And that's the bad, like the bike thing is cool. And I guess, if she rides, that's cool. But the bikes are great for me, but nobody else gets to enjoy it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's nice to have something that you can, enjoy with other people and do other,
yeah.
it's a lot more fun that way.
100%, a hundred
Yeah.
percent.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at these guys on the lift because everybody don't want to hear us talk about side by sides. I'm
I
sure.
know. Let's see here. How do I turn this around? Get my face off of this. All right. So don't pay attention to any of that stuff. We haven't gotten there yet. Um, but this is. Can I zoom this out? Will this zoom out? Probably
I
not.
don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so
Um,
either.
so this is the DXI. Um,
Now explain to me. I'm not really familiar with like. I know DXT. It would be the T Sport, right?
Correct. Yeah.
What is the DXI?
So in '04 and '05, they made an FXDX fuel injected. They only made them for those 2 years. Um,
Gotcha.
at one point, they were super sought after. I'm not really sure. At this point, I've just always wanted one,
Gotcha.
and so it was basically the same thing. Had the adjustable suspension, the adjustable shocks. It was just fuel injected,
Gotcha.
and this one was pretty neglected. I don't know how the guy did it, but somehow or another he broke a couple fins back here in the back. And of course I was like, well, that's can't go out like that. So took the top end off, did a 95, like high compression piston 95.
Yep.
These are CNC'd. I want to say they're like 84 cc heads.
Okay.
Um, did a cam, new plate, all that stuff. Um, these are actually '06 and up heads. So instead of drilling for the compression releases, I'm just going to run OEM Harley automatic compression releases,
Yep.
which I think will be kind of cool. And then I'm not really sure how it's going to work yet. They didn't make a lot of aftermarket intakes for the early like '04, '05 stuff.
Uh huh.
Um, so I've got a big intake off of like an '06 up bike,
Yep.
and I'm just gonna cut all the plugs off, wire everything up, wire the new injectors up, so I can run a big intake, big throttle body, and hopefully, you know, have a nasty little Dyna.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, it still needs, I've got some wheels for it. Just got to figure out if we're going to do chrome wheels or going to powder coat or what's going to get what.
Yeah.
Um,
Always chrome. Always chrome.
dude, yeah, and of course, and at this point, that's obviously I've done a lot of the chrome mags, so
Yep.
I almost feel like it's got to be chrome.
Yeah.
It's just when you talk about chrome and stuff, it gets even more out of hand, so much
Yeah.
faster. But
Who?
the end result is
I got a
just
guy in Anaheim that does my chroming. I don't know if that who you're using, but I
yeah, he's more out towards like LA.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I mean, because people, I've done so many of them. I have people hitting me up constantly about them, and everybody's like,
Gotcha.
"Man, that's expensive," and I'm like, "Dude, it's gotten so bad now. The EPA is shutting down the chrome shops so
Yeah,
fast that
yeah.
it just keeps going up. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, and
over
that's
the
the
last
problem.
couple of
So
years,
we have these legacy chrome shops that have been around for so long, but as soon as something happens to that shop and it closes down, the
that's
EPA
it.
will not allow them to open another one. So
Oh yeah,
it's done. You know,
yeah.
so
Well,
the more these
yeah.
things disappear, the more expensive it's going to be.
Yeah, and it's and I get it. Like there was a chrome shop by us for a long time that chromed like cylinders for hydraulic equipment and stuff like that. And I
Yep.
know when that place went out of business, like they had to go in that shop, saw cut the entire foundation out, and dig down like 6 feet. Because there's just so much stuff that had been contaminating the soil for the last 20 something years.
Yeah.
So I get it. It makes sense on both ways, but it does make it a lot harder to get it done and
A
get it
hundred
done
percent.
nice without spending a ton of money.
Yeah, yeah. I think my guy literally he's literally taking all the stuff down to Mexico.
I think a lot of them are at this point.
Yeah.
Really, that's because obviously they don't care. You can do whatever you want to out there, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's you want to be baller. It costs a lot of money.
Oh,
You know
100%.
that's
100%.
and if it didn't, everybody would have cool stuff, and it wouldn't be that cool to have cool stuff. So that's
Yeah,
what makes it
exactly.
great. Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's what makes it fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, this is the convertible.
Okay.
Super. This thing is super super nice. This
So
guy's
how do
put a
you
lot.
juggle working on all 3 bikes at one time like this?
Normally what I do is I just don't work on any of them, and nothing gets done. And I just, like when you texted me last night, I was like, dude, I've been working out in LA. Like I'm not even going home. Like, you know what I mean? Like most of the time, nothing gets done out here at this point.
Yeah.
But I try to get one to a point where I don't know if I should be talking into the camera or what I should be doing here instead of
You
just
can do
pointing.
whatever you want.
Um, I try to get one to a point where I'm like, cool, now I'm ready to send this stuff off for paint. So now I'm waiting on the painter. So now I
Yep.
can start, throwing stuff at this one.
Yep.
That's the easiest way for me so far to juggle it and just try to slowly chip away at it. Because I'm pretty notorious when I come in here, I just look at, all this stuff needs to get done. And it's very overwhelming. And then
Yep.
it's to a point where you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to close the door and lock it because nothing's going to get done anyways. So it's kind of, I try to just tackle little stuff one at a time, and that way it's kind of a bunch of small jobs instead of looking at an entire bike like this. That needs to be put together.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, this is a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It's got a
Yeah,
lot
and
going
I'm
on.
so OCD. Like I have this super nice polished case, and then you know what I mean. Like next to this, and I'm like, well, this has all got to come out. And it's
Yep.
all got to be nice because it's what's the point of putting this whole thing together and then you walk up to it and you're like, oh, that is a nice bike, but what about that?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's it's rough.
So these bikes, I mean, you essentially build them for yourself, sorta, you knowing that you're gonna eventually sell it anyways. Do
Yeah.
you keep tabs on like the parts that you're putting on it so you understand like I guess like the value that you have in the bike, or like I guess the money you have in the bike with purchase and everything to
At,
make a profit?
at one point, I was pretty good about it. I would
Yeah,
list everything and I would know pretty close. At this point, it's just I'm flying by the seat of my pants at this point. It's
gotcha.
yeah, it's out of hand. I just kind of and I mean, but knock on wood, it's kind of because I just buy stuff whenever I see it. So like
Yep,
I've gotten to the point now where like especially the big stuff, like I've got a FXDX front end over there. I've got plenty of wheels. I've got a bunch of lowers. Like so at this point I really don't need to buy stuff, unless I'm, calling you because I need some risers and some bars or,
yep,
stuff like that.
yep,
I just buy stuff whenever I see it, off of Instagram or at the swap meet, whatever the case may be. And that way I have it because I know I have a whole like pile of exhaust over there, like just because I know at some point in time I'm gonna need it for something.
yep,
Um,
yep.
so it kind of saves a little bit of money that way if I'm not buying new stuff for it. I try. I'm pretty good about in my head, kind of keeping a running tally of ballpark,
Yeah,
where I'm at and stuff. Um, and I don't really, you know, like I said, I don't need to make a ton of money doing this.
yeah,
So I'm not really as long as I'm clearing, what I have in it plus a little bit for my time, I'm not really concerned with it. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Exactly,
it's not like
exactly.
I need to, you know. I've got to make X amount of money on all these bikes in order to pay the bills and, be doing this in 6 months. I'm just kind of enjoying it, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah.
Or that's the goal anyways.
Right? You were
Yeah.
enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so this one, the cases were split, new rotating assembly, all that's done. Just got to put the top end on. These heads were already gone through, freshened up. Um, I don't know what I'm going to do about maybe having those polished or something like that. That's what I did on my FXR, just polish cases, polish cylinders, everything, and I love it. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Um,
Yeah.
Super nice swing arm. I've got boxes of really nice parts. The tins are super, super nice for this thing. Um, I just got to figure out and that is, I guess, the good thing. I don't know. I don't really build these for anybody else. These are just, if I was going to build this bike, this is how I want it to look.
Yep.
And knock on wood, for whatever reason, up to this point, other people have seen that and thought that they liked it too, and gave me money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it's not, like I said, it'd be pretty rough. I don't really, to this point, I haven't really like built a bike. Someone come up to me and say, "Hey, I love what you're doing. Can we do this the way I want to do it?" So at this point, it's just kind of things that I've seen and things that I like, and I'm like, "Cool, this is what I'm going to do," and this, hopefully it turns out nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my FXR. Just recently, yeah. I The goal was to finish this before Born Free. I had that motor for quite a while, and then what did I do? I pulled the top end off of it, did the fresh top end, wrapped it up, put it on a lift, put it under the table for months, and then I want to say a month before Born Free, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this motor in there and ride this thing to Born Free with this motor. So, needless to say, I rode my bagger that I had at the time to Born Free because it did not get done in time at all. Of course, we started taking it apart, and I'm like, well, might as well do a Baker tranny, and the whole
Yep.
thing got rewired, polished, everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I love it. This is absolutely, there's something, I mean, Dynas will always have a special place in my heart, regardless of what the market's doing and regardless
Yep.
of how much they're worth. But FXRs are just they're just
It,
great.
yeah, it's another. It's yeah. I've been getting that bug real bad. I never owned an FXR for myself. I've had a handful of them just for either flipping and I built that one with the misfit skulls for my wife.
Yeah,
And I sold my bagger earlier this year, and I haven't really had a bike, so I've been riding that FXR of hers. Like took it to Texas for Born Free and was riding around out there and stuff. And I'm like, kind of like these FXRs, man. I'm gonna have to build me an FXR now, and I have like two FXR projects, so it's like, oh,
yeah.
just
That's well,
time to go.
that's the bad thing with FXRs is no matter how much money you spend on them and how nice they are, they're always FXR projects.
Yup.
They always leak oil. They always break down. I don't know what it is. They're just cursed. I mean, I'm sure there's guys out there like, my machinist, he's from Arkansas. I'm sure
Yup.
those guys build really nice bikes that don't break down.
Yeah.
Um, as you can see, I'm in a garage. Like my shit breaks and it
Yeah.
leaks. It doesn't work a lot. It's
Yep. 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 I've been
FXRs are
fortunate
just,
with hers. I haven't had any issues or any leaks like that, but again,
yeah,
it was one of those bikes. Every nut and bolt and it's brand new. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. And I mean, this bike, I've had a few FXRs that I really liked. I actually found this one in Arkansas, and it had been sitting next to a barn for years. It didn't have a gas tank on it. It was the original Evo, the original tranny, wide glide front end, of course. Soft tail, goofy, rear fender. Um, and so I bought it, and so like I said, my dad owned a bike shop for years. So he's been around bikes forever.
yep.
So I had him go get it, and then I started buying parts here, and I took everything back home with me, and my dad and I, kind of put it together a little bit, just rough, just to get it started and everything. Um, so my dad and I worked on this one. So I'm like, this is, I'm gonna need a bigger coffin because this one will go with me. It's, you know what I mean? Like I've got to,
Yep.
I've got to keep one, and I'm like, this is, just because of the memories working on it with my dad. It's
Yeah.
just, so I'm like, this one, and it's the same way. Like I painted this thing in a carport next to a garage. I've done if there's anything that's been done to it, I've done it. Whether it's even I don't know how to paint shit at all, but I was like, I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna do everything just so I can be like, this is my bike. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like it's not that I had anybody, not that there's anything wrong with having other people do stuff, but I just wanted to be like, you know,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
what I wanted. This is what it is, and I did it all, and that's why it'll always be here.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's cool,
Yeah,
though.
no, it is.
That's
It really is, and that's. I'm hoping the next trip I take, because before putting the new motor and stuff in it, it was definitely really unreliable at that point. It's a little more reliable now, so I would like to take it back home because my dad and I were actually building an FXR to sell when we were so I find the stuff, get everything set up. My dad goes and picks it up, holds on to it for a few months, and then
yep.
that's when we bring everything back out here. So we bought an FXR to bring out here to sell, and did a bunch of cool stuff to it. Had a big motor, and like a week before I'm getting ready to go home, already had a trailer bought, already had the planned trip and everything. We had the bike finished. My dad was like, I kind of like this FXR. I've been riding it, and like and I'm like, I already know where this is going. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
fine. Just keep it. We'll find something else to fill the spot, whatever. So my dad has an FXR.
that's
Um,
badass.
yeah. So it's like, I really want to, and since then, we put a big, it's like a 114-inch SNS motor in it since then.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so it's like, I want to get this one back home so I can ride this with my dad while he's on his FXR and just kind of,
Yep.
again, it's supposed to be memories. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And it's like
100%.
that's one of those things where I'm like, I just want to do that just as something that, I don't ever regret not doing it.
Yep. Yep,
That's
for sure.
yeah.
It's cool to have those, like, I guess, sentimental moments with them, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%.
it's definitely, like, for things, man, and people I have people that I would consider family all over this country just for motorcycles, you know? It's
It's
wild.
it really is. And I mean, we've all met, people that weren't great,
Yep.
but I have met some of and like I said, I've only been here for 6 years, so I didn't grow up here. I don't have people that I went to high school with. Like everybody that I know now are people that I've met,
Yep.
in the last 6 years. Um, but I have met some of the best people that would literally do anything for me.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? Like Tyler that runs Big Bird Choppers. I don't know if you know Randy, FXR 1989. He's the big like FXR guru. He lives like 15
I know
minutes away from me.
yeah, I know the Instagram name for sure.
Yeah. And though, Tyler calls me and he needs something. I'm like, I have it, take it. It's yours,
Yep.
whatever. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and it goes the same way. And that's
Yeah.
again, I think the people that aren't using this industry for that you're missing 80% of it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
that's what, who else, like of course, on this thing, this thing broke down and I was over kind of close to Randy's house and I called Randy and he was eating dinner and I was like, hey, don't worry about it. I got AAA, no big deal. And we got off the phone and 5 minutes later, Randy's pulling into the parking lot with his truck and a ramp. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And I'm like, you can't, you have
You can't
to
buy that.
cultivate those relationships. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
has to be both ways. And yeah. And I mean, where else are you going to meet people like that are willing to do that kind of stuff at, the drop of a hat?
Yeah, you can't influence your way into those relationships.
Exactly. That's
Yep. Yep.
exactly. That's
That's
got
it's
to be,
there is a it's unfortunate sometimes. Like I've been saying this lately because it's true. It's really easy to focus on the negative of things, no matter what it is, and it's
yes.
really easy to focus on the negative portions of this industry. But the reality is, there's so many positive things of this industry. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
it's just human nature to focus on the negative instead of the positive.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we do that with everything.
hundred
I mean,
percent.
that's human nature at its worst.
Yep.
It's so
And
easy to get caught up in it.
yep, and just like you're saying, man, the relationships I have, the people I've met, like even like people like me and you were just a kind of acquaintances, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like we can talk candidly together, and we can have great conversations like this, and
Yeah.
and it just builds. This builds. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
it's
yeah,
man, it's just it is really is a great community of people, man.
yeah, it really is. And I mean, I never before I came out here, I don't think I had an Instagram, and I never really paid any attention to it. And I mean,
Yep.
most of the people that I've met have been off of the main pages, and they've all turned into be a lot of them have been great people that I love. Like same thing that they're invited to my birthday parties, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like when I have cookouts, that's who. And it's so weird because a lot of those people, like at one point in time, I didn't even know their name. I just knew
Yeah.
what their Instagram was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd meet people and they'd be like, "Hey, I'm so and so," and I'm like, "I don't," and they're like, "Oh, my Instagram is this." I'm like, "Dude, what is up? Like we've been talking for 2 years over Instagram." You know what I mean? It's like,
Well,
and then you meet
yep.
these people in real life, and you're like, "Dude, what?" It's great.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great.
It is. It's a kind of a weird. It's definitely super weird, but it's at the same time, man. Like it is a great thing, dude. I got people, like I said, all over this country. I got people from different countries, that I see
Yeah,
that they when they come into town and stuff, we'll go hang out and I got my buddy Tor from Norway. He comes into town. We go to punk rock concerts together and shit. And
yeah.
it's crazy, man. It's a trip what it's done, and there is so much positive, and it's created a community of people. And I know the FXR community as a whole is something completely different, and like the FXR community is a little special, like
It
and
really is. It's a very
it's
delicate, special, tight knit
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
and the more I get like because again I'm not an FXR guy per se. I'm starting to go to the dark side, but
yeah. It's
I've
rough.
uh I've been I guess like the more I get involved in it, right, and I could just see it. It's not like you just start to feel it and see it with the people you talk to that are specifically in the FXR community, and
Yeah,
it's definitely different, man. It's totally different than Dynas, than baggers, than anything else. The FXR
100%.
community is its own little entity.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, my big thing was Dynas forever. I've had a bunch of baggers, like that was
Yep.
it. But I love I mean, I'm slowly starting to kind of evolve and get away from the Dynas and just start doing FXRs because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get away from, and there's nothing. I don't mean like there's nothing wrong with certain clicks and certain things. You know what I mean? But like I don't have the money to have a performance bagger. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm not. You know what I mean? I had an old like an '01 Road King that was
Yep.
pretty performance baggerish, but I can't. I could have all this, or I could have one 2022 Road Glide that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I'm not getting into that industry. Like the stunt scene, I have to go to work tomorrow. Like I
Yeah.
can't afford to be, laid up and work with a broken arm.
Yep.
But those are all great little niches, and I've met a bunch of people in those too. But the FXR guys are just so they're almost like they're not. They're just in it for the love of the game, almost.
That's it,
It,
man. I think
that's
you nailed it right there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Randy, he's the FXR guru. He's been messing around with FXRs probably before I was alive, and it's like that guy does it because the love of the game, and
Yeah.
I feel like once you find those pockets of people that are doing it just because they love it, it's so refreshing because
Yeah.
it's the money is irrelevant.
Yeah.
The whatever the Instagram fame, the Instagram coolness is irrelevant. It's
Yep.
just about piece of shit, old Harleys, and just loving it.
Yeah.
That's and like I said, if that's not what you're doing, I feel like you're really doing yourself a disservice because you're missing it. You're missing
Yeah,
it.
I think you're 100%. I think you nailed it on the head with that statement, man. And
Yeah,
that's really true because I used to when I was living in Orange County, I had this really fun group of dudes that we rode with, and it was back when I was riding choppers and stuff, and
yeah,
and it was like that, man. Nobody, we all had like our little Instagrams that nobody really cared about it. We were just all having fun and riding choppers and camping out and doing stupid shit,
yeah.
and it's just
That's
I don't know. The last few years, nothing's really felt like that. Like, I got a little core group of people that I was riding with and stuff. And when we do like big rides and stuff, like we do Sturgis and stuff, it definitely feels that way because we're just out having fun now. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But
Nobody's filming it. It's not. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just us, and we're just enjoying it. Yeah,
yup, yup.
that's yeah.
It's I don't
Hopefully
know. Riding
after
in
I get a few
California
of
is
these.
gnarly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
It's weird. The good thing is you can do whatever you want. If you want to be in whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's here. This is where, if you're
yup,
wanting to do anything, whether it's razors or motorcycles, you can find whatever little click you want out here. It's
yup.
crazy.
a hundred
It's
percent.
Yeah. That's what I need to hopefully once I get a few of these done, especially working on this chopper of Dane's, I really want to get into the chopper thing. I
Yeah,
want to,
I got a chopper project here too, so don't get me started.
oh yeah, it's yeah. My I think I was a junior in high school, I think. And my dad had this, it was a shovel head roller that he was just trying to sell. It was sitting in the corner of the shop forever. Nobody was buying it. And we just slowly, like my dad, so if I wasn't in school, like on the weekends, Thanksgiving break, summer break, I was in, working for my dad. Well, like I wasn't really working, I wasn't getting paid, but like I was in there doing, working
Yep.
for free basically.
Yep.
And so on Saturdays we would be working, and all my dad's friends of course were off, so the shop was kind of the hangout spot. That's
Yeah.
where everybody was at on Saturdays, and it just kind of slowly, like, we took the shovel head that was sitting in the corner and put a tank on it that he had hanging on the wall, and a fender that he had, and all this mismatched stuff, and we built this really cool little shovel head chopper. And I'm like, that's what, looking back on it, I'm like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like I want to get back to where it's just kind of, you know
The roots.
yeah, exactly, that's
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Plus
I'm
I
with
just
you.
want a really cool chopper.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Choppers are so fun. I really
Yeah.
love choppers for a lot of reasons. When I started doing motorcycle stuff was during the big fat tire chopper time of this industry, and
Yes.
so I worked at I started off in the shipping department, and then I moved up to the machinist department. And the place is called Daytech. Some people know what it is, but
Yeah.
basically, we were the largest aftermarket frame manufacturer in the country. So we built all
Yeah.
the frames for Big Dog and American Iron Horse and all those companies.
Yeah.
Um, but I was, I started working there. I think I was 19 when I started working
Wow.
there, 20 years old, something like that. Um, at that time, like motorcycles were like 80 grand, man. Like they were
Oh yeah, it
unobtainable.
was crazy,
Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
FXRs were probably 3 grand. I should have just bought all of them,
That's
but
yeah. If we knew anything, we'd go back in time and just hoard all the cool FXRs back in the day.
yep,
Yep.
yep.
Buy
They would
all the
probably give them
Arlen
to
stuff.
you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But
It,
when I finally bought a motorcycle, I was 29 years old, I think. I
yeah.
bought a 69 Ironhead. I'm 42 right now, so it was
Yeah.
13 years ago.
Yeah.
And I built a chopper out of it, and it was an old school chopper, and that was just really, that was fucking cool, man.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was. I don't know.
Not
There's something about
reliable, but
choppers.
cool. Yeah.
There's just so much individuality in it, like because you can't just bolt everything on. You gotta
No.
make some shit.
100%. Yeah. It's
You
got to
know.
be. It's got to be you.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah. And that's the cool thing about those. It shows if it's not. If it's not.
yeah, it's that's one of the biggest things why I always like, man, I love choppers. I'm always gonna love choppers. I'm always gonna want to build choppers and go back to choppers.
Yeah.
And I get inspiration from choppers. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. And there's
So
just something. I don't care what you. I mean, a big Evo sounds great. A nasty twin cam sounds great. But there is just something about like a good running shovelhead. The way it sounds,
oh yeah, big
it's
time,
so great. It's so
big
great.
time.
That's I just want something that I don't care about that's cool and I can just
Yup,
ride. But
yep.
that's
When it won't kickstart, you can just push it over.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It'll be just fun. Yeah, that's I really want to do. So I bought. Let me see if I can turn this around again. Figure this out. So I bought an entire garage out of Arizona, and I got 3 of these. So these are chopper guys,
Okay, yep.
FXRs.
Chopper guys,
Um,
epic car frames. Yep.
yeah, twin cams. Uh, the cool thing about this, I've got like the invoices and everything, but this guy actually took 3 Harley necks and sent them to chopper guys. So they made chopper guys frames, but they still have actual Harley VINs,
Nice.
which I really liked. But
Yeah.
I want to do one of the, FXR choppers. Maybe not as crazy as like fast lanes, not that tall. But I would
Yup.
like to do like an FXR chopper, make it kind of radical, probably pink, maybe some flames, just something cool, just to kind of get back into doing, something that I really want to do instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
just, trying to knock out bikes and get stuff done.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just having
But
fun, man. Just having fun. Like I get it. Like just getting these things turnkey and stuff, it kind of just turns into a job. So there's no creativity. But man,
Exactly. Yeah,
you
you
know,
get lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? You're
yep,
just trying to get stuff done and get it out and then get something else in. That's why hopefully, one of these, I think we're going to, chop the neck, cut it, um, and do a cool FXR chopper. I see a lot of those and they really kind of, for some reason, get me going.
yep.
So a couple of
What
these will be just cool FXRs, but one of these hopefully will be a nice FXR chopper.
what wheels do you have on that one?
I just put these on. I've been holding on to these forever. These
Oh
are,
yeah, some
yeah,
lightning stars.
yeah. I love these wheels so
Oh
much. These are
yeah,
gonna go. I'm gonna have to get these chromed because these are gonna go on my FXR.
yep,
Um, I can't remember this bike. It had powder coated 9 spokes on it, and somebody needed them, so I just pulled them off and put these on there just so I could kind of push it around and get it.
yep.
Um, that is, I've got a nice little hoard of cool, you know, I've got
OEM
some,
wheels.
I've got some Thunder Stars. I've got these Lightning Stars. I've got a few cool wheels that I've kind of been saving for stuff like this that I want to do and you know, make it kind of trick.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a cool set of OEM Harley wheels.
Oh yeah, no,
Nothing better.
100%. No, 100%. And the way these Lightning Stars look, I just absolutely love them.
Yeah,
I've had these for a few years now, and they've just been, I just got wheels like stacked up in the corner and in boxes and shit, like just everywhere. I'm like, I can't remember what. Yeah, those were for my bagger at one point, but I think I'm gonna end up pulling these hubs off and machining these down, so maybe I can run these on that chopper and do a
there
narrow
we go.
front end with the 21. I think that'd look pretty sweet.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, new Sawicki FXR pipe just in the box, just sitting in the corner. I'm like, dude, it's so yeah,
It's a
a
rough
bunch of
life,
like,
man.
oh
It's
yeah,
a
a
rough
bunch of
life.
like PM calipers and stuff. I'm like, dude, this is so stupid. Yeah, I've got to start getting some stuff done and start using some of these parts and start kind of getting the ball rolling, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Well, man, I truly appreciate your time. It was a very fun
absolutely,
talking with you. Uh,
absolutely,
we got to get together and do some side by siding or something.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I know I see you at the swap meet. I haven't been going to the swap meet lately.
Me
Um,
neither.
yeah,
I'm gonna try to go. I think this month. I think it's Thanksgiving weekend though.
yeah,
So
it's
that
been
one's always
so
hit
hit
or
or
miss,
miss.
man. It could be a
Yeah,
great one or it could be a shitty one.
yeah, and it's I like showing up. Because I get to see like you and Steve at Till Death,
Yep.
all those guys that I don't really get to see very often. But
Yep.
it's so hard. I mean, because
Oh yeah.
if I'm gonna have a booth there, I gotta leave here at 4 in the morning.
Same. I
And
gotta leave at 4 in the morning.
yeah, and like by the time I'm done, I'm like my Sunday's ruined at this
Yeah.
point. You know
When
what
I
I
was in
mean? So,
Orange County, it was great. I was 20 minutes away. I was
yeah,
like, this is awesome. Now it's
yeah.
not.
No, and now like when I go and it's not great, I don't get to buy a bunch of stuff or I don't sell anything. I'm like, I am not doing this anymore. This
Yeah,
is
I could have slept in.
Yeah, exactly. I could have done something productive on this Sunday instead of
Yep.
woke up at the crack of dawn, ate horrible breakfast burritos, and
Yep.
but
When I used to not mind because I used to smoke cigarettes, so I just sit there and chain smoke cigarettes in my spot anyways. I don't
I don't
smoke
smoke
anymore,
anymore
so now
either.
it just sucks.
Yeah, now you're just sitting there. Yeah, Dane brought me this cool BMX bike, and so now like when I do go, I just take that BMX bike and kind of rip around and say
There
hi
you
to
go.
everybody, and that's
Yep.
it's more fun.
Yep. Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah,
man, I appreciate your time. I appreciate
absolutely.
you. Thank you so much for the
No, thanks.
episode,
It's
man.
been great. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we'll definitely do it again as these bikes come along. That's the fun thing about this series is that we can do it as many times as we want. So
Yeah,
we'll definitely
that's
link up again in a little bit. Once you get some time and working on some things, and catch up with you and see where things are at.
absolutely. I really appreciate it.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Take care.